2000s. We're here to sell you the greatest hits of the 2000s.
Hello.
What a wonderful infomercial we have for you today.
I love the 2000s. The aughts.
The aughts, as they say. Or the 00s.
They do. Someone has said that somewhere. Maybe just you. Right now, if you call right now to the number on your screen, you can get all these movies.
I just realized if we said 1-800-GET-REAL, I'm sure that's an actual number, so don't call that number.
Don't call the number. But hey, you know what? We love a good compilation. We love a good hits.
That's right. And so we've gone through, we've ranked every single year, and just like we did for the 90s, we took all the number ones, which technically, this list is probably not what would be maybe JD's top 10 of the 2000s or mine.
It's not.
But collectively, it's our top 10 of the 2000s.
Well, because I think it's hard because you're just like, here are the number ones we picked, and now we're just putting them in a different order, and it gets really hard.
Yes.
And unfair.
But that's our gimmick. We gotta sell this product some kind of way.
Yeah.
We re-ranked all the number ones. We'll do a little back and forth about them, and then we'll pitch to what we said in the original video.
Yeah, kind of like, when you're watching your favorite show, and then they do like a Karen. I don't even know what they're called, but they'd be like
clip show, yeah.
Like I've never done that, and then it cuts to all the things.
Number 10, we have Kill Bill Volume 1, first of 2 Quentin Tarantino movies on this list. Like we said in the past, and we'll say in a second, probably one of his best.
Don't know why number 2's not on here. I cannot remember why, but
take it away, past us.
The mashups, the montage, it's all the love letters, the homages. It's all there. The weirdness of your hands off me, Lucky Charm. It's it's the most, to me, Tarantino. The second one also, we'll talk about that another time. But
the best part of the movie to me is that it just so many times, both of them, just goes to the vengeance red thing.
With the resistance.
Number 9, we have Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
Controversial pick.
Controversial. JD really loved it, but his rule was he only needed to get one on, and then he didn't care about the other ones.
Yeah, I think.
But he loves those.
This is it's in, and so that means all of them are technically in. I love this movie. As we were about to find out, Zach just put it on the list. The only reason it's on this list is because Zach also made it his number 1 of that year, even though he doesn't totally love it.
Here you go.
They built all those sets. They all of the chainmail and stuff they actually made. The storytelling is great, aside from all of the boring stuff about the elves' pasts. And
oh my God, Zach, you sound
which
so
is like a third of the
crazy.
movie. But
for a lot of people, this movie, just for me at least, I went and saw this. I knew it was based on a book. My dad told me, hey, this is based on an old book, and it's fantasy, whatever. And I saw it, and I was just blown away by the story, the characters, the visuals, the sets, the real costumes, the armor, the armies, and I think, say what you I love all of them, but to me this is the one that I think about the most.
I skip the elves every time.
Skip the elves? I don't understand what that means.
He sees
Blanchett.
Orlando Bloom and he just fast forwards.
So you skip a part that by the time you get to the third movie, you're lost. You're
yes,
wait,
that's exactly what happened.
Wait a second.
I watched
where'd
the
they get
third
that
one
thing
first.
Where'd they get that thing? And it's bad storytelling.
That's what happened to me. I went straight to the third one because I was like,
the movie.
It won 11 Oscars. I'll watch it.
Number 8, we have In Bruges, Martin McDonagh's directorial debut, full feature, just great movie. I think Zach talks about this one too, right?
Yeah,
but there's no elves in this, so he likes it.
No elves.
There are things in this that haven't aged well, but I think because the way the characters are, you don't really take offense to it because there are bad people.
Yeah, like it's
doing
bad people
things.
doing bad things. So
Yeah, but I do also love Ray Fiennes being like just manic, but also at the same time having this lovely family.
yeah, that is pretty funny.
It's such a good like. That's what Martin's so good at. It's gonna be like, look at this crazy person, and we're gonna put him right in the back, like in the background. It's like this really nice thing happening.
Number 7, we have Minority Report. Some would argue Spielberg's last great action movie.
You saved yourself there. That's great, actually. You know what I'm thinking about? It's crazy that I'm looking at these number ones. I'm like, it's crazy that these are the number ones.
Yeah, I know, right? But it feels very 2000s.
Yeah.
Because it was just genre filled.
Yeah.
So talk about a roller coaster movie that's cinema. Minority Report just has everything. Tom Cruise, Colin Farrell, stacked cast. I love this movie. The sick gun, the crazy technology that's basically
Like
Big Brother has come true.
Yeah, and like they kind of got iPads before iPads were a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like with all the cool special effects and stuff.
It looks cool. It looks so different at the time
At the time.
than like anything else we had seen.
It's almost like Spielberg makes really good movies. Something about him.
Yeah.
Until he
Till it doesn't.
kind of stopped. Number 6, we have Quentin Tarantino's other big movie from the 2000s, Inglourious Basterds, which we just talked about. You know, there's a phone here. You could do the Hans Landa.
That's a bingo.
I don't think he's ever going to write a better script than this one. Like there's only like 5 scenes in this whole movie, and every single scene has it's just this insane amount of tension that you can't do it. No one else would be able to do that with just words.
It's a fun cast. It's a fun. It really is more just like, probably if I had to say, if you don't count Once Upon a Time, it may be like his most accessible.
Number 5, we have Brokeback Mountain, which I'm just going to pitch to us because we make fun of that this was his follow-up to Hulk.
It becomes a conversation. And, sad that it's, 2005 and it takes a movie with, 2 straight guys to do it. But it's like, it's like, I remember like vividly being like, this has changed. This is a monumental moment for cinema, and they never looked back. So
yeah, and I recently watched this like a few months ago, and it holds up so freaking well, and it's one of the best romantic movies like in decades, I would argue.
I would say it's the absence of romance. It's like it's a love story that doesn't have it's in the same way Blue Valentine is a love story. Yeah. So too is Brokeback Mountain. It is about the loss of love. Number 4, we have Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Surprisingly, our only Coen Brothers movie on here.
It's weird, but it's fun, and like how upbeat it is. This is one of the most popular Coen Brothers movies. Like everyone that I know that kind of likes movies, I say the Coen Brothers, they think of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Well, yeah, it's also now shown in like literature classes and English classes.
Because it's based off of Homer's Odyssey. So,
yeah,
it's like a 5,000-year-old story.
Just everything about this movie is quotable. The songs get stuck in your head.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou like nails it all. Like, we've talked about soundtracks, we've talked about acting, we've talked about visuals, we've talked about like all the writing, like all of that. Brother, Where Art Thou is at like 100%.
All right, number 3, we have Michel Gondry's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Just a wonderful movie.
Yep.
Probably just like how we talked about Duncan Jones, everyone thought like, oh, Michel Gondry is going to just take over. And they did some good movies, Science of Sleep and Be Kind, Rewind. But sort of, this is his...
It's his bit. He's got a bit,
and this was his most of his bits were in this movie.
Yeah, do you think Michel Gondry is the hipster Baz Luhrmann?
No. Well, yeah, actually. A dude movie about losing a person you love that you think you love. A lot of people, just like 500 Days of Summer, misinterpret what this movie means.
Yep.
It's a guy ascribing, like, forcing himself to love someone that doesn't really love him back. Yeah. And so it's just, and it's non-linear, crazy set pieces. Jim Carrey's best performance.
Without a doubt.
Kate Winslet, I mean, she's just amazing. Everything.
Ruffalo,
Elijah Wood, Kirsten,
yes.
back-to-back top
Man.
2. There we go.
And really, to me, like, this is when you find like a point. We brought up 500 Days of Summer. We've debated a lot about what the most hipster of the 2000s were, and this is kind of, I feel like, a really great like launch pad of that. Like, this is where you start seeing these what feel like indie movies kind of blowing up in the mainstream.
Number 2, we have Children of Men. And I think we had some very great things to say about
We
it.
had really great things to say. So let's take it away, us.
Inventive camera work. They have an amazing story. Top to bottom, sci-fi is always going to transcend and be better than almost any genre. Because you can fit other genres into sci-fi.
When does Children of Men take place? It takes place like
Soon.
Soon, doesn't it?
2027 or
That
something
was
that.
creepy.
Number 1 is Paul Thomas Anderson's There Will Be Blood. Talk about something that hit the zeitgeist at the right moment.
And then, I mean, I feel like no one really talks.
Yeah.
I think I rated this pretty low because I don't know if it is sticking like we all thought. Like, for film people, yes.
Yes.
For certain audiences, yes. For people who were, I don't know, 16 years old and older at the time, definitely. But I dropped a reference to this the other day, and no one.
Yeah, I think it's like, yeah, film people for sure will love this movie. But if you went to someone and like, hey, do you remember There Will Be Blood? And they were like, what is that?
Yeah.
Is that a show?
If you ask someone who's like, I drink your milkshake.
They might get it.
No, that's the reference I dropped, and the person didn't understand.
No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood are not only like arguably perfect, they're both very similar as they're like sort of westerny, not really, sort of neo, and then they're shot in the same area, and they both have like what endings?
Yeah.
Like where it just ends. That's amazing. I don't know.
Yeah.
2007 was crazy.
What a goated year for movies.
It was goated.
It rips. It zooms. And that's the top 10 of the 2000s.
It's a list with 10 things on it.
That's right. Well, 10 movies to be more.
10 movies, yeah.
More specific. Probably the quickest we've ever filmed a video in a while.
Zach's not here.
Zach never says anything, which is funny.
Well, no, he
says stuff and then we're
he
shocked.
picks his like 3 things that he's like, I'm gonna go all in.
Yeah.
And then we laugh at him.
Why did we come out of this video?
I don't know. I think he's here.
He's here. We just decided we're not going to do it with him this time.
Sorry, Zach.